Have you ever felt like you're playing life on hard mode while everyone else just seems to be on autopilot? Like your mind is always running, always catching little details and sensing vibes that other people just walk right past. If that sounds like you, well, you've landed in exactly the right spot.
And see, that's the thing. This high awareness is a total double-edged sword. It's an incredibly powerful tool for sure, but man, it can feel lonely when you're seeing the world in high definition, filled with all this nuance that most people, they just don't see. So if you've kind of spent your life feeling just a little out of sync, like you're operating on a completely different frequency, then what we're about to go through here is going to reframe everything for you.
What you're experiencing, it's not a flaw. It's a feature. It's part of your cognitive operating system. And it just means you need a different user manual, especially for things like social interaction and managing your own mental energy. So let's break down that first rule.
All right, let's dive right into the big one, the label you've probably heard a million times, overthinking. If you've ever been dismissed with that phrase, you really need to hear this, because what's actually happening in your brain is way more sophisticated than that. See, this isn't just anxiety or being indecisive. It's your brain running these incredibly complex simulations. You're not just worrying. You are gathering massive amounts of data to try and forecast and find the best possible outcome. It's a high-level strategic process, not some kind of character flaw.
And the same goes for talking to yourself. Yeah, I said it. It's not some quirky, eccentric thing. It's about efficiency. Verbal reasoning is this amazing tool your mind uses to bring some order to all that complexity. Think about it. When you speak your thoughts out loud, you're basically pulling the problem out of your head and giving it some shape. It lets you organize all the moving parts, map out a logical path forward, and honestly, solve it way more efficiently than if it all just stayed tangled up in there. It's a real technique.
Okay, so now let's apply this to the social world, because this is where having a high-awareness brain often feels the most different. It's all about your ability to read the unspoken stuff, the currents in any room.
You know that feeling, right? When you can just sense a shift in the room before a single word is even said? That is not you being insecure. Come on, that's a highly evolved skill. Your brain is picking up on tiny micro-expressions, little shifts in vocal tone, the real meaning behind a pause. You're not imagining it. You're reading the data everyone else is missing.
And that exact same skill is why you're so careful about who you trust. It has nothing to do with being cynical or rebellious. It's just pragmatic realism. You've learned from past experience, from the data, to trust what people do over what they say, and to rely on your own highly tuned judgment.
So, a brain that's processing this much also needs a totally unique energy strategy. This is why your approach to focus and downtime might seem a little weird to other people, but for you, it is absolutely essential.
Okay, let's be real. Maybe your desk looks like a total disaster zone, but your project plan is an absolute masterpiece. That's not a contradiction. It's actually mental efficiency. Your brain is deciding, either consciously or subconsciously, hey, I'm not going to waste my precious cognitive bandwidth on that low-priority stuff. You're saving that incredible focus for what really matters to you. And what about your need for solitude? People might think you're being antisocial. But it's not about avoiding people. It's strategic. That alone time is how you create space for something called the incubation effect. That's when your brain, finally free from all the noise and distractions, can connect all those complex data points it's been processing. That is where your best ideas come from.
So where does all this leave us? What's the real takeaway here? Well, it's about making a fundamental shift in how you see yourself. It's time to trade in all that self-criticism for some real self-acceptance.
Just let that sink in for a second. It is not your job to think like everybody else. Your unique way of thinking, your overthinking, your need to be alone, your sharp perception, these aren't flaws you need to fix. They are the very architecture of your intelligence. Look, this isn't just some feel-good, motivational pep talk. This is a reflection of how psychology actually understands these kinds of advanced cognitive traits. And if this explainer finally gave you the language to describe your own experience, then you should definitely subscribe for more deep dives that decode the way your mind really works.
I'll just leave you with this one last thought. Just imagine what becomes possible when you stop fighting your own nature and you start leveraging it. When you treat your deep analysis, your sharp intuition, and your focused mind not as burdens, but as the powerful assets they've always been, what changes then?